This podcast is brought to you by Heavy Metal News. And now, the fine and fantastic, delightful and always right, Shane Diablo. When you come to the podcast, gonna have a big good to the podcast, gonna have the Heavy Metal News podcast, gonna love that little Mad Boo Boo podcast. Heavy metal podcast, gonna have a little heavy metal podcast, gonna love a little heavy metal podcast, gonna do a little heavy metal podcast. You're gonna love a heavy metal podcast. It's Shane's little heavy metal podcast. It's a great little motherfucking podcast. Gonna enjoy it, gonna have a little podcast. Now, for sea is the sky, the Wanja, Rastafari. That was fantastic. How are you doing? It's been a while. It's been a week. I want to welcome you all to the Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo, episode 185 of this fine podcast here. We talk about heavy metal. We talk about life. We talk about existence. We talk about things. Okay? First thing we got to talk about, it's 185. I thank you all for tuning in. This is a no request zone. What does that mean? Well, Miss Althea brought my attention to this. That means that, let me breathe for a minute. It was that heavy metal podcast, heavy metal podcast, and I was nailing it. You got to admit that. Miss Althea brought it to my attention that people should not leave reaction requests in the Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. So please don't do that. This is where you listen to the last episode and then you put your comments in the following, in that, and we read the next one. Got it? Do you understand that? Now here's a rub to that. Is you're welcome to go and put comments weeks later, but once we read it that following week, I may never see your comments again. So it's always good to get in on it. What the hell is going on? It's like my throat's trying to restrict up or something. Could it be the 10-hour days I've been putting out in the blistering sun and I've been taking it in the face? This life will not bring me down. I put my face right up into the sun. I breathe it in. I don't do it with my eyes open. Closed. I've heard it's good to get the sun on your eyelids though. And I just take it in. I say, oh, it's only 94 degrees. Give me what you got. Give me the vibrations. Give it to me. Give me everything you got. You can't break me down. Nobody can break on my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. You understand this? I sure am glad to have you here. I have so many things to talk about. We got stories galore. Ozzy Osbourne, you're gonna able to buy his DNA so you can make babies, little Ozzy Osbournes or something. We're gonna find out what's going on with that. King's X, a little Doug Pinnick coming in here. I've seen him pop up on my TikToks, and I love that guy. And what song did I hear from those guys where I went, God damn, that's a blistering tune. I'll tell you what it was. I watched the interview with, is his name Nick or Rick Beato? B-E-A-T-O. But it is with Brendan O'Brien, and he was a producer. He worked with AC/DC and the Red Hot Chili Peppers and all this, and he did King's X. And the song that they played on there, I don't think I'd heard before. I think it was off the Dog Man record, but I was like, damn, that is... So we got Doug Pinnick on here. We got Lita Ford. She did a song with Doro Pesch, and she says, you will bawl. You aren't even a human species if you ain't in tears at the end of this song. First news on bat. I got to tell you about my new shorts. I am somebody that is very finicky about my shorts, and my friends, let me tell you about Ben Hogan. My God. Now, those aren't my legs. That's not my torso. Mine's a lot wider and probably a lot shorter than that, and I don't wear white shoes. I like black shoes. But these shorts right here, my friends, I hate Walmart. I don't like shopping there. But I had to go over there to get what? Cat food. Cat litter. You don't muck around with cat litter, okay? You don't wait around. When you got to get it, you get it. So I go in there, and then I go over, I said, well, I'm just going to go see what kind of shorts they have. I'd never heard of Ben Hogan before. And this isn't an ad. I'm going to go back over to KK because he's interested in what I've got to say. Aren't you? So I go in there, and I see these shorts. I say, oh, Ben Hogan. And then I feel them. And they're the stretchy material, but they're slightly silky. Does that make any sense to you? And I says, well, I'm going to buy some. I've got to buy some now. I look, and I got risky because I haven't worn a 36 in 20 years. 40 years I haven't ever wore a 36. I don't know why my throat keeps wanting to close up on me. It's because you don't breathe. You don't take time to slow down and talk. It's probably the case. But anyway, so I see him and I go, you know what? I feel like when I put these up to my torso, I'm going to fit into these 36s. I'm going to buy 3 pair. I take them home. I put some on. I says, oh my God, I just found my new shorts. So I went back over on Sunday. All of the size was gone but one. So I have 4 pairs of brand spanking new Ben Hogans. I love these shorts. Now, Ben Hogan Company, give me money that I am due for this, okay? If you see this and you say, he just pimped it good, give him money, big check, 50 G's. And what's even better? After a wash. I says, oh, gee whiz, I hope they don't shrink or something. I put them on and I said, my God, I've never felt more alive in my life. So thank you to Ben Hogan. How obsessed am I? I read his Wikipedia page. Yes, that Ben Hogan, 6-time pro golf champion, was in a tragic car accident. Damn near died in the accident. Beautiful wife, Sylvia, I believe her name was. But, I was like, who is this man that has made my life so comfortable? It's the little things in life. It really is, Do I have a big mansion on a hill? No, I don't. But I got 4 pairs of fucking Ben Hogans. News we will not be talking about. I almost hit this story because I was like, what? Steve DiGiorgio says he spoke to Dave Ellefson about replacing bass tracks on Megadeth's The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I wanted to know what that's about. We're not going to get into it because we've got Kenny. Oh, Kenny! If you're a Typo Negative fan, you'll know that reference. I don't know what the hell is going on. Guys, if I end up falling over, I'm still going to put this up. I'll, from the bed, I'll say, put it up, yes, put it up. Here's my access codes, please put it up. But it's like, I haven't even been stung yet by bees. That's usually when this shit happens in the summer. Well, I'll just have to soldier on because this is a podcast and it's a heavy metal news podcast and that's what we do here. And there's Ken. And he says, a lot of fans, they look down at KK's Priest because they call me a tribute band. I saw a big billboard and it was like, Summerfest is coming for some town, near me. Had all the names on there, Metallica, Aerosmith, but then below it said, tributes, all of them are tribute bands. In a new interview, I hope I can get through this. In a new interview with Made in Metal ex-Judas Priest guitarist Kenneth, the Ken Man, KK Downing, addressed the fact that Priest fans can now enjoy 2 separate bands playing a similar kind of music. His group, his former group, you can go watch them if you want, which is continuing to tour and record new material, and KK's Priest, which Downing launched in 2020 with another ex-Priest member, the singer, Tim, the Rip Man Owens. I was going to say Rip Taylor. Tim the Rip Man Owens. Next time Priest goes out and plays some shows, we'll probably play the songs Cathedral Spires. That's what we might do. From Priest's 1997 album Jugulator. And some other songs that they like to play. Maybe some early stuff off Rock-A-Rolla stuff too. We have such a catalogue, the whole thing, plus new material. Now, I'm making new material, and the guys in the current Priest lineup are making new material, so there's that as well. So I agree that fans can enjoy both bands. Two bands it is. We're different, and there's no doubt that I, like I say, I'm very proud of what we. This might be the one. This might be the Razzie. This might be the Razzie right here, this one. Boy, I say we're different, and there's no doubt that I'm very proud of the way we sound. Because it's the way I always sounded, and I want to sound. So, bands are different. We're different people, different entities. So, it can only be good. It can only be a good thing. Because two bands, why, that's even better than one. Two double pleasures. Double mint fun. Because two bands could do more shows, can create more music. There is no conflict. And there shouldn't be. I agree. I got to take a break from this, guys, for a minute. Just sit here. It's like, I told you that I come right in the damn door and sit down. It is 95 degrees today. I've been outside all day long. But I'll tell you what, there's no place I would rather be than looking at that beautiful sky, because I'll tell you there's so much amazing shit going on in it. I know a lot of the fans, why, they look down at KK's Priest, because they call me a tribute band. And I'm going, but I wrote the songs. Surely I have a right to play me own songs, wherever I want and whenever I bleedin' bloody want. And I hope that people would be grateful if I go to their town and it's a small town, a small little bar in it or something, and they can hear me play those songs after all these years. And that's a good thing. It's always a good thing. So, we'll see what happens. But one thing's for sure, nothing lasts forever. And us guys, from so far back, we treading the thin line. We only have so long before we fall off the end of the planet. Don't worry, KK. When you finally go, you're just leaving the meat sack, okay? You're just moving out of third dimensional realms into the fourth. Okay? So don't be frightened by that. It will, it'll be a bummer that you're not rocking out, but do not be frightened by that. Let me see. So long we fall off the planet. Well, I guess he's kind of right about that. And so I'd like to say for the fans, give us the chance and enjoy us. Come and have some fun and listen to us play some songs and have a good time because it's a good thing to do. Asked about KK's plans for the rest of 2025, Downing said, this year I'm doing lots of other things. I'm playing on somebody else's album. I'm kind of producing an album, but I'm also looking to make a new album. I'm doing the Ozzy Osbourne final show. And that was another story we're not going to be talking about, is Sharon Osbourne has banned someone. And now everyone is mystified at who is not allowed to come to the concert. Sharon banned him. I don't know if it was a band or if it was someone had Dave Mustaine's picture up. But I don't think that's right. But Kenny will be there. And I'm going to Ozzy Osbourne final show in Birmingham in early July. The Black Sabbath show, you might have heard of it. I am doing that performance, playing with some guys. It's pretty exciting. But I'm looking to create a new record. That is weird, isn't it? Priest can't cancel the gigs to go to Ozzy's final goodbye the biggest concert event. Everyone's saying it's the biggest thing ever happened. But Ken's there, but they can't make it. For the last concert of Ozzy Osbourne's life, you can't cancel a gig. I'm sure everyone in that town, wherever you're playing at, Mr. Rob Halford, Mr. Metal God, I'm sure everyone in that town would be pleased as punch if they said, I totally understand. Go and rock for Ozzy Osbourne. But Ken's going to be there. I am doing that performance. I'm playing with some guys. It's not me band, but it's some guys. And I asked Sharon, I said, Sharon, who am I going to be playing with? She said, oh, yeah, Kenny, you'll be playing with some guys. Well, that's pretty exciting, I told Sharon. I says, indeed, that's pretty exciting. But I'm looking to create a new record ready for a big celebration next year, continuing the anniversary of the recent 50th anniversary of Priest, Rock-a-Rolla, but also of Sad Wings of Destiny. Yeah, Rob and those guys are hearing that, and they're saying, oh boy, he's getting on it. Oh dear, we've got to do something. He's going to start, he's already mucked with Rock-a-Rolla, now he wants to do Sad Wings of Destinies. Circling back to KK's Priest's ability to coexist with Judas Priest, KK added, even though we are two bands, even together we leave so many songs out. It's insane to try and create a set list. It's mad. But it's gonna be good. Why? Because it's a good thing. And when good things happen, it's a good time. Enough of that. No, this isn't just some regular Joe saying, hey, welcome back to my YouTube. I'm going to show you how I carved out, I put that little boat in the bottle. This is Rick Hunolt of Exodus. And he is not wrong here when he says, you know what? I might be the only guy with a set of nuts on me to say this, but I'm not afraid to say that Exodus inspired Metallica and Slayer, and very much so. I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I keep doing this. Am I turning into that guy with the mustard and taters? Yeah, give me some mustard and taters. Didn't he take a lawnmower blade to that one guy? Was that Billy Bob Thornton that did that? It was Billy Bob Thornton that did that. That movie, you ever see that Sling Blade? Where he says, yes, I want some mustard and taters. I'm losing it, guys. I'm losing it in the most wonderful way. Because you know what? It's whimsy. It is magical. There is a hell of a lot of magic in this universe, man. I am telling you that true. You'll feel it for yourself soon enough. But let's get into this and see what he's going. What kind of specs he got on there? That's a good brand, probably. Great, it's got a good lens on it, so you can get them little oars and stuff in that bottle, so you can get the boat set up in there. That's an amazement to me how they do that. I could see like a brain surgeon being able to put a boat together in a bottle, but yeah. Former Exodus guitarist Rick Hunolt was interviewed by Reckless Rex Ruger. Is that the wrestling man? Or is that Lex Luger? Get in the comments and tell me. For an episode of Podscum podcast, after Ruger noted that the guitar duo of Hunolt and Gary Holt is every bit as iconic as Metallica guitar team of James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett, and I 100% agree with that. Oh! And Slayer's Jeff Henneman and Kerry King, and I 100% agree with that as well. Because that was my Exodus years right there, was with and I met all those guys back in the day, but I always fuck their names up too. Rick Hunolt and Gary Holt. He's very, very much proper on this. I think he's right. Thank you, man. Well, we were there in the beginning. And honestly, I'm not afraid to say that we inspired those guys very much. Hold on, I gotta set the sail in this boat. Yeah. Almost there. Okay. We very much so. All the guys you just named. Because you lovingly went down that list of people in, Metallica and Slayer. All of those people, yes. But we were all from the same exact amoeba. The DNA was pretty much the same over here on the West Coast with this little small group of guitar players. Playing in a band for 30, 35 years with Gary was incredible. We respect each other. We still do to this day. Very, 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 and a very much. And we love each other very, very, very much. And we'll be brothers forever. What about Steve Souza? Would you say those nice things for him? Absolutely. He is a busy guy, and I agree. Gary Holtz, phenomenal riff. He's a phenomenal riff writer. Dude, phenomenal. Did I fuck that up? Gary Holtz, a phenomenal riff writer, dude. Phenomenal. Guys, thank you for holding on. It's going to swing back into shape. I'm telling you right now, it's going to pop back together again. I'm just working on it, okay? We got to work through this shit during the podcast, and then we're golden forever, okay? I would love to know what people like. I don't know about Reddit or whatever, but it's like, how do you explain his podcast? It's this grimy looking dude that just drinks sparkling waters and screams at the laptop. And they wouldn't be that far off, would they? I mean, that's pretty close. God, I started watching another one of them Rick Beato's last night, and it was with Alan Parson. He was right there in the studio for like the Beatles and Abbey Road and all that shit. He was right there for that. I love learning all that stuff that I don't know about these, Alan Parsons. Come on, that's a great record. And he was also the mixer master, whatever, for Dark Side of the Moon from Pink Floyd. Alan Parsons, yes, the same one. Oh, Mr. Hunnell, if I had to stack all the albums right there in front of me and look at the performances on every album, if you're talking lead guitar, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something right now. I'm going to have to pick 2004's Tempo of the Damned, I damn will, as far as the lead guitar and rhythm guitar playing, because I was a really sick human being during that recording session. I was sick. I could feel that my time with Exodus was coming to an end. And it was devastating, dude. And then I go back and I listen to those solos and I say, dude, I could feel it. I could feel it in my bones. And some of the solos are just, in my opinion now, some of the best stuff I've ever recorded. And so I'll say Tempo of the Damned. I mean, commercially, I'd have to say, hold on, I gotta fix the sail on this little boat. I'm having problems with it. This isn't a good boat in a bottle if the fucking sails are laying down. They have to be up. And that's what I'm trying to work on while I'm doing this podcast. No, he didn't do that. I mean, commercially, I'd have to say 1989's Fabulous Disaster as far as commercial success with Toxic Waltz and the Headbangers Ball Tour, which I went and saw. And then as far as the groundbreaking Rock Feed, I got a ting there. Rock Feed. Korn responds to Sleep Token haters. Oh my God. Yeah, I was going to click this, but I can't because it'll take my story away. And then, as far as groundbreaking, I'd have to say 1985's Bonded by Blood. There's different categories in with the way I look at the catalog and go, wow, What he's saying is Rick Hunolt has his own methods for what he thinks the wow factor is in his catalog of music. And you may have a different one, but Rick's is the way he does it. Hunolt is currently a member of Nefarious, a new California-based thrash metal band, also featuring Katon W.D. Penna from Hyrax on vocal, Doug Piercy, Heathen Anvil Chorus on guitar, and Tom Gears of Blind, Illusion, Ancient Mariner, and on bass, and Will Carroll, baby, on the drums. He's a death angel, baby. Will Carroll on the drum. You know, Will Carroll damn near met his fate with COVID when he got it. So we love Will Carroll. We're happy that he's doing two bands, I guess. Nefarious debut album, Addicted to Power, will be released. Oh, here's a heavy metal goodie you're getting right there. Will be released on July 18, 2025 via Relentless Metal Records, with the collector vinyl available through Hectic Bleeding Priest Records. Although Exodus rarely gets mentioned alongside those so-called Big Four of the 1980s thrash metal, that would be Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, the aforementioned Bonded by Blood LP inspired the likes of Testament, Death Angel, and Violence, and many others to launch their careers and is considered one of the most influential thrash metal albums of all time. So there you have that, guys. Are you happy with me? I mean, that's Rick. I remember he had the long hair, and they were all great guys, cool guys. Fabulous Disaster concert tour, Headbangers Ball, with Halloween opening up. I mean, it was just a magical time because Halloween had Halloween out on Headbangers Ball at the time. Toxic Waltz is popping off at the time and all this shit. So it was a great... Anthrax did the State of Euphoria album. So there's that. We love you, Rick. I hope I got him under the gobbler there. All right. You know, he might watch this. Rick might go, "Hey, Tubbs, what are you talking about, gobbler? You're a freaking, you know." But there they are. There they are, King's X. And this guy right here, he's Doug, D-U-G. And I like me some freaking King's X, but they could never quite figure out why they didn't explode. That was what Brendan O'Brien was talking about in that thing was, he's like, because the album sounded great. They were listening to the production value of the album. And he was going, he goes, I love this album, and I don't know why they didn't take off. They should have been bigger. King's X, Doug Pinnock. I think that we kind of influenced a lot of bands. So do you see what I've done there? I've made those stories make love to each other. Because Rick Hunolt said that they are pretty sure Exodus influenced all those thrash bands. Well, you know, Doug is going to talk about all the bands that they influenced, perhaps. In a new interview with John J. Oh, it's not John J. Jingleheimer. It's John J. Thompson of True Tunes podcast. King's X frontman Doug, the Doug Pinnock, spoke about his band's supposed influence on early 1990 grunge acts as Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Alice in Chains. Yeah, I agree. He said, when our first record came out, it was the first time I ever heard drop D tuning. Later, I heard a couple of other bands that did it, like on one or two songs. But what happened was, in 1985, Ty Tabor, King's X guitarist, wrote this song, and it was in Nashville tuning. drop D. I can't remember which song it was, and this is before we got a record deal because we were on getting on a plane going to Heritage Farms for some cheese and crackers. Or is that the Pepperidge Farm? Heritage Farm, where Jim and Tammy Baker's TV show. What? That's the Evangelists? Going to Heritage Farm, where Jim and Tammy Baker's... you guys, don't just tell me you're crackpots. Jim and Tammy Baker's TV show was, and we were on the show playing with Morgan Cryer. I gotta see that footage. Is that on YouTube? And we were flying out, and Ty handed us a cassette and said, I wrote this song. I don't know if it's any good or not, but give it a listen. And Jerry Gaskill, King's X drummer, and I, well, we plugged it in together on the plane before we took off and listened to this demo. And we just went, oh boy. We just went, that is really cool. And I said, Ty, let me ask you a serious question. How did you do that, what I just heard in my ears? He said, the Nashville tuning. The what? Well, yeah, it's the Nashville tuning. Come again? I tuned the E. You see, here's what I've done, Doug. I've tuned the E down to the D. You fucking crazy person. You know what's crazy is I'm learning how to play bass. I don't want to dick with that tuning. I've got it set E, A, D, G. I got it set to standard tuning. And so I'm bummed out when I'm looking up tabs for a song. I just learned a bomb track. And I'm always bummed out. Now someone will say, Shane, that's not an E. Well, it is when I'm playing it. Because I get bummed out when I look up tabs for something and it says a different tuning. It's like, don't do that. And don't do that. And I get bummed too when it's like 5 and 6 strings. I'm like, I just want the good old fashioned damn 4-string. You know? Just give me that. I'm going to go home and try that when we get back. So he said, what I've done here is I tuned the E to the D. I said, I'm going to do that right when I get home. I'm going to try it and I'll get back. And when we got back home, I wrote like 8 songs that are on the first record. And Ty wrote the other songs that were in drop D. And it was just something that he come up with. Oh, I thought for some reason I was reading that I and R together. I was going to say you came up with it in Iran. He came up with it. Well, this is what Doug's saying. He came up with it, and I ran with it. You took a good idea and made it great. That's what you did. Regarding King's X music connection to some of Seattle's biggest grunge bands, Pinnock said, about 5-6 years ago, Kim Thale from Soundgarden told me that in 1985 he showed Mr. Chris Cornell of Soundgarden, the singer, drop D tuning. And Chris started writing songs in drop D also. Ultra Mega OK, I think, is by Soundgarden. Drop D also. Ultra Omega, I think it is by Soundgarden. The beginning has all this weird sounding noises. And then it comes in with a riff that drop D tuned. It's drop D tuned. Our records came out maybe a month before that. And our record had all that noise in the beginning of it, and it had a drop D tuning. So I argue, who was it that came first? I'll tell you, Doug. You. Because you says your album came out a month before. Clearly you. The thing I know, though, is that in rock music in general, everybody turned their heads at King's X because we came out of the metal thing. and grunge wasn't even on the register yet. It was this little thing that was happening in Seattle, but it hadn't exploded yet, so nobody was paying attention. But I know that after we came out, I met Alice in Chains and Jeff Ament from Pearl Jam. That's got to be the bass player. And he said, Jeff, tune it down. D. Pearl Jam, and all those told me how influential we were to them. So I would say I think that we kind of influenced a lot of bands, but Alice in Chains was really what brought it out to the world. I remember that Kerrang! Magazine called Alice in Chains King's X in Hell. That's interesting. They didn't like Alice in Chains when they came out. Hardly any of the media did. And I thought, these people are stupid, because this is a great band. I remember seeing that Man in the Box video on MTV, and I was like, oh, I like that right away. I will tell you this, though. The only time I've ever seen Alice in Chains, they were booed unmercifully. Because someone thought it would be a great idea back in the day, like the 90s, 95, 93, something, to do the Big Four, but Metallica didn't want to be part of it. So they did Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, and opening the entire thing, Alice in Chains with their brand new rock hit on MTV, Man in the Box. And Lane Staley had his hair braided and just, I mean, I was down for it. I liked Faith No More and all those kinds of bands, but there was a lot of people that was like, I don't like that. Now, all of those people will tell you now, I never said that. I've always liked them. Because I know a couple. Say, no, you hated them. Don't you remember that? You hated them. You said they suck. I'm the man in the cocks or whatever. People never listen to me. I have great advice and they never listen. And that record, I heard that King's X influenced or what? They didn't like Alice in Chains when they came out. Hardly any of the media did. And I thought, these people are stupid. Because this is a great band. And that record, I heard that King's X influence or that vibe, and they made it dark. And it was kind of the way I wanted King's X to be. I always wanted King's X to be very dark like that. You guys are very light. But every time the three of us sang, it sounded like the Beatles. And everything was pretty. This past February, Pinnock was asked by The Lounge with Jake Ellenbogen. Wow. About Ament's declaration in the early 1990s at the height of Pearl Jam's success on MTV that King's X invented grunge. It was really, 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 really cool, so cool for him to say that. I mean, that right there, if Pearl Jam is saying, man, I'm going to be 40 shades of red in this son of a bitch. And I am burnt. Do I sound aggravated? I apologize if I'm coming across very aggravated. I'm just hot. And there's no air in here. It was really, 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 really cool of him to say that, especially when nobody else would, especially those who would agree with him, who wouldn't say nothing. And it meant a lot for him to publicly say that, because I've been told how influential King's X has been by almost every musician I've run into. But very few will make a big statement about it. They'll mention the classics. And for us, I think we just carried the torch of a type of music that needed to be explored. I don't know if I got it in me for any more of that. We got to get on to Lita Ford, and we've got to get on to Ozzy Osbourne selling his sperm samples or whatever to anyone that wants him to have a little Osbourne. And your comments. I am just like this. Don't I just look like I've been through hell and back? Because I have. Lita Ford, the beautiful Lita Ford, and she says this song with her and Doro Pesch is going to it'll reduce you to tears. And I want to know, because I felt like Udo and her version of, or was it Rob Halford and her that did Islands in the Stream or whatever? I felt like that was beautiful, made me cry a bit. In a new interview with Dawn Osbourne. Now, is this that one sister of the Osbournes that didn't want to be on the TV show? Is that who this is or no? Of Total Rock, 80s hard rock queen Lita, no, 80s hard rock queen Lita Ford spoke about her long-awaited new studio album, Ford's upcoming follow-up to 2012's Living Like a Runaway, was once again helmed by guitar producer Gary Hoey, who contributes some guitar playing to this disc. Asked if she already has a title for the new LP, Ford said, yes. Yeah. But I'm trying to wait until we get a record label signed. And so once I do, then I'm going to tell you everything. Regarding when fans can expect to see the album's release, Lita says, I don't know. Soon, I hope. Fingers crossed. We're working on it. Ford went on to say that the new album is autobiographical. I had to live it before I could write it. It sounded a little creepy and everything, but it's pretty cool. It's dark fairy tale, a la, I don't know, a la Shrek. And I love Shrek. Really? I don't know if you're familiar with Shrek movies. I never saw it in my life. I mean, there's no green people in it or anything like that. And there's no ogres. Well, I guess there are ogres. Am I reading that word right? Is that how you spell ogre? According to Lita, her new album will include a collaboration with German metal queen Doro Pesch. It's waiting to come out, and I'm dying. It's so good, and it's not a ballad, and it's not a fast song. It's just a really powerful mid-range song, and it will reduce you to tears. As far as the song with Doro came about, as for how the song with Doro came about, Lita said, when I ran into Doro, we received an award in Los Angeles, California, and she says to me, "Und Lita, we have to do a song together." And I said, I've got it. I've got the title. I know what the title is. Because sometimes you just grab titles and you don't even know why. It's just something that sounds amazing. And so I wrote it down. I grabbed a little scrap paper. I wrote it down. Dora says, "Can I have someone to look at it?" No. Writing it down for secrets. Let's just show me. As soon after that, Doro had come along and she said, let's write something. And I got the title. So I went ahead and wrote the song. She said, Lita, let's write something. What do you say? And then you pulled the paper out, looked at it, said, okay, I'm going to go in my secret room and write the song. But hold on, can I come in there? Or... And I got the title, so I went in and I wrote the song. And Doro did not write the song. But she sure sang the hell out of it, I'll tell you that. Right to the melody that I wrote. So technically, she just sang the words because she didn't add any kind of a melodic effect to it. She came out and nailed it. So it was a great honor to work with Doro again. Ford also revealed that her new album will contain a collaboration with singer, songwriter, producer Jean Bourrier. Crown of Thorns and Plasmatic. She said, Jean? Is it Jean? Now I'm just losing it. Gene, he's like family because we kind of grew up in the punk rock era together. Him from the Plasmatics and me from the Runaways. Sometimes you're just at the right place at the right time with the right people. And Gene and I wrote this song together. He will get some credit for that. And yeah, it's magic. It's a duet, but it's produced by Gene. And he's knocked it out of the park. It's a magic, magic song. All right. This may be a shorter one, guys. I've got dry lips. I have dry... I'm probably getting a lot of, there's shit blowing around in the air everywhere all day long, and I'm inhaling this and getting bit by that and stung by this. And we're going to get on to beautiful Lita. Lita, you've done a great job here. Oh, dear. Thank you so much for everything you've contributed to heavy metal rock and roll. Without you, my neck just cracked. Without you, Lita, my childhood would have been just boring. Quite frankly, just boring. Ozzy Osbourne, he says, if you don't believe me, you can have my sperm. Why, here's my autograph on the thing. Is it sperm or what is it? Ozzy don't know. Official DNA sample. Let's look at the official thing. Wait. Why's he got a Liquid Death logo on it? Is this some kind of goof? Ozzy Osbourne's DNA sample can be yours for $450. Clone me, you bastards. I'm telling you right now, you better clone me. For the first time ever, a brand is selling the DNA. For the first time ever, a brand is selling the DNA. Now, this is not a setup, guys. Somebody's going to come in for the first time and go, isn't that convenient? He was drinking his greenies. I've always drank them. I need money for it, okay? I'm drinking them because I drink them, not like these other fake guys that hold them up or they have the cans sitting somewhere in the damn background for you to see. No, I drink the sons of bitches. So let's get a little cash, a little bit of green beans over here, okay? Introducing Infinite Ozzy, the Liquid Death Ultra Limited empty cans of Liquid Death iced tea that are actually drank by Ozzy Osbourne himself and contain his DNA. What? Why didn't you just have him spit in a bucket? Then you could have made cases and cases of it, and you would have sold it all. Ozzy spit in every one of these cans. They'd be gone. Ozzy drank 10 cans of Liquid Death iced tea. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't sit down and, oh, Ozzy, you've got to drink all of these cans, don't you know? No. Ozzy drank 10 cans. Now they're never going to give me no money. If I don't be good, nice to Liquid Death, they're never going to give me any money. Ozzy drank 10 cans of Liquid Death iced tea, and then each can was sealed to preserve his DNA. That's his spit. Once technology and federal law permit, fans can use this DNA to try to clone Ozzy. But it's in freaking, it's mixed up in iced tea. Boy, that'd be one hell of a strand, wouldn't it? Ozzy's DNA and iced tea's DNA. That'd be something else. Sing like Ozzy and rap like... Our technology, federal law permit, fans can use the DNA to try to clone Ozzy in the future and enjoy him from hundreds of years to come. This sounds like a pyramid scheme to me, quite frankly. Each of these limited edition official Ozzy DNA cans come in a label quality container. Each has hand signed by Ozzy. There are only 10 Ozzy DNA cans in existence. They will be sold for $450 each on liquiddeath.com/Ozzy. They're gone already. Ozzy Osbourne said in a statement, "Clone me, you bastards." As one of the fastest growing non-alcoholic beverage brands, Liquid Death uses comedy and entertainment. Well, here you go. Let's read this and just see what they're after, because it's all right here for them to pay me for. As one of the fastest growing non-alcoholic beverages brands, Liquid Death uses comedy and entertainment to make healthy and sustainable 50 times more fun. Liquid Death takes low-calorie beverages and packages them into infinitely recyclable cans that compete with the fun marketing and unhealthy brands across energy drinks, beer, and junk food. Liquid Death's product line includes mountain waters, soda-flavored sparkling waters, iced tea, and more. A portion of Liquid Death's proceeds goes to, not in my pockets, but to nonprofits who are helping fight plastic pollution and further Liquid Death's hashtag Death to Plastic sustainability mission. We're a match made in heaven. Just write the check out. My best friends call me Cash. And let's get a lot of zeros on that sucker, okay? It's all right here. It's all right here. I did not know there was going to be an ad for Liquid Death in this, but, you know, I did know there would be an ad for Ben Hogan's, but, you know, I'm trying to drum up business. Okay? I'm trying to figure things out. Quick break, then we get into comments. Thank you all for tuning in. You're a pleasure. You're a blessing. I am you. You are me. We are one. Here we go. There's a few things I haven't told you, and before you hear them from someone else, to clear up misconceptions, I'd rather tell you myself. There was a time I rode a roller coaster from Coney Island to Key West. I held on with one finger so the other 10 could rest. It may be hard to believe, hard to comprehend, but baby, you didn't know me when. Welcome back. Of course, that was a fine cut from the Red Light, Blue Light record from Harry Connick Jr. Back when he did the big band stuff. Before he started doing all that other kind of kaleidoscope and, kind of all over the place with it. It was just the big band stuff is what I liked. But welcome back. We're back to the comments here. We've got them all lined up. I will tell you, there was one of you missing. I'm not going to say who, but one of you was missing, but I figured out the problem. I've got you guys all lined up and ready to rock. Look at that. It's like a beautiful parade of words. And there's me. And I'm going, see, I'm right in the way of myself. You know? Let's get into it. We got Big Tone. Big Tone is coming up first. Remember, he's been away. He's got something going on here. Let's find out. Brother Shane. I'm back with a heavy heart. Oh, Jesus. Third attempt to explain the horrendous, heinous, and senseless act that befell our family. What? YT is obviously preventing my comments from posting. I mean, probably if it's any kind of, man, oh boy, Big Tone, I hope you're doing okay. I want to thank you, and especially Miss Out There, Johnny B and Mikey B, for your concern and well wishes. This is truly the best rock and roll reaction community out here. He's right. It's been a difficult start to the month. The podcast was a breath of fresh air that provided some much-needed entertainment. Thank you. Glad to hear that Vivian Campbell is in remission. and the loser that disrespected you disrespected us. I'm sure the band was way better before he joined. Man, I'm kind of a fluster, bud. I'm wishing you all the best in the world. He says, thank you all again, and as always, keep them coming, brother. Heavy metal emoticons and ... hashtag get Shane to 100K. And hashtag get Shane 100K from Liquid D. I bet you like the big guys that do ads for, these, where they just set it on the table and they go, whatever. I bet you it's far from that, right? Even if you got millions and millions and millions of followers or whatever. There's your heart. My heart goes to you. I hope that heart jolts out some extra energy that you guys need, man. I'm sorry to hear about that. I wish you all the best. We got the Revenant coming in here. Oh, news that we won't be talking about since the Revenant went on and on about Lorraine Lewis. Femme Fatale, I saw a story on Blabbermouth, said Femme Fatale's just about to release a new single, and they got an image up of Lorraine Lewis. She's not in there anymore. She's doing OnlyFans. But the image that they're using for the Femme Fatale is going to have a new song, or was I thinking? Hold on. Never mind. She was the singer. That's her band, right? Femme Fatale. I apologize to you. Okay? I am sorry about all of this that's going on. The Revenant coming in here. Just returned from 2 months in the desert with 2 friends. I hope you came back with all of them. Was the car filled with all 3 of you in it, or was it just you and your friend that came back and the other one decided to go somewhere else? We hung out with a few different groups of people that are, let's say, in tune, cosmically speaking. I saw a lot of different things out there, and most of it was good. More on the next week as I've just returned home. I'll also have an update coming on one of my cover bands you might like. All right. Now, if you remember, the Revenant, he got smacked up by Lorraine Lewis. But yes, indeed, here is what I will tell you, my friends, and I know that the thought of extraterrestrial stuff is spooky or scary to people, or crazy, or you're just weird. But I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you something here. I see stuff all day long, at night, all day, every day. I'm seeing stuff. I'm seeing things in the sky. I'm seeing things in the clouds. I'm seeing things that are just right out of the tree lines. Reach to me. I can tell you it is all 100% pure love. There's nothing about it that is, even unsettling. It is all wonderful. There is a feeling that you get. It's awe-inspiring. Here's what I'm going to say as easily as I can possibly say it. They've always been here. There's other dimensions. I know this is crazy. You say, man, I saw that in a sci-fi movie. But what I'm trying to explain is currently the Earth is what you would call ascending, right? If you've watched that, the resonance or whatever about the energy field of the Earth, whatever the hell it is rising, 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 rising up. We are rising, rising up with it. What does that do? It raises your vibration. That's why we're slowly beginning to connect and start to see more and more stuff that's going on. They have always been here. We have just been kind of living in a world where we don't pay attention. And the reason why we don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, and I'll tell it to you right now, is because we're fed a steady diet of fear. And as soon as you cut that stuff out, the news and every single thing they try to go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. As soon as you cut it out and you do not care anymore, and I was guilty as charged as anyone else of this, because I was all in on all of it. And as soon as even if you do not take what I'm saying as believable, that's fine. What I am telling you is you will feel this energy shift the more and more you release any negative stuff from your past. It means absolutely nothing. I know I'm getting very existential here and very intense, but I'm just I've got no one to talk to about it. And I see it. And I've said, wait, no, I'm going to wait until I see something else, because I have to reassure myself that I'm seeing what I'm seeing. And my friends, my sweet friends, I am telling you that we are amongst other friends from other places, other dimensions, other whatevers. I don't know all the wording for it. They're around us now, and we don't see them. We will see them, and it is all love, because they've been here the whole time. We just have not paid attention. Simple. I'm shaking. It's very crazy to talk about these kinds of things. I understand, because people are going, this is whacked out, man. But I'm telling you, there is a shift that's happening, and I'll leave it there. It's all good. Just if there's anything you can do, like I've said before, there's no books to buy, nobody to praise. There's nothing. All you have to do is get rid of the negativity. If you get rid of everything that's negative, you'll see. I almost kind of got choked up there for a minute. I kind of felt myself going, huh. You know that when you do that? When your parents yell at you, get the... Oh. Okay, the Reverend, a couple of episodes ago, you had mentioned two really cool moments during the Zach Wilde interview that Corgan did, and didn't hear you say which two. During Johnny B's comments, you mentioned the audition he did and how he went through it, but was that the one that you were talking about? Yes, that was it. And it was great because he acted the whole thing out. You can tell he's kind of a free spirit kind of a guy, So when he's telling a story that he's had with somebody, he's playing all the parts. And so it was entertaining to watch him do that. And you can even see kind of Billy looking over at him like, oh my God, you're so sweet. This little head. He's like, oh my God. Zach Wilde, you are so sweet. So yes, indeed, that's what that was. All right, let's get your heart there. So this is Johnny B coming in here. Now remember, he has put an end to the Y-Files. So I interjected that in with just no, whatever. So Johnny B coming in, he says, so after your recommendation, I listened to all 2 hours of the Paul Stanley interview with Billy Corgan. The Gene Simmons, oh yeah, interview was really good, and Billy asked him a bunch of great questions, but Paul's was way better. It was pretty good. I watched the second half last evening. I finally understand why Paul did what he did by keeping Tommy and Eric in and continuing on. Me too. I felt like, I love Paul, and I'm going to never stop having Paul on the podcast, but I almost felt like I'm a bastard to this man. But I'm not, because I love Paul Stanley, but I'm just saying sometimes we all do jerky things. He was still excited by what they were doing and believed in Kiss. He flat out said that Peter and Ace weren't interested in the music, so he found 2 guys that were and continued on. Paul is the heart and soul of the Soul Station. Oh, Paul is the heart and soul of Kiss. And for a long time, I really didn't appreciate him. But after listening to this interview, I understand him better and see his point of view. He also gave both Ace and Peter compliments. Yes, I remember the one where he's like, Peter used to blister them drums. And really didn't bash them too bad. Yeah. I think he probably watched an episode or 2 of Billy Corgan's podcast. He tries to, not be like salacious or whatever. And then he did bring up that Paul Stanley did the Phantom of the Opera and all that, So he was like, Billy Corgan is a good interviewer. Let's just call a pumpkin what a pumpkin. There was a part where he was talking about having fun with success, and if you no longer have fun, that you start sticking needles in your arm and putting guns to your head. Things that Peter and Ace have done. Also, Paul never... I'm going like this trying to hold the burp in, guys. So now it's gone. And putting the guns... Don't do that, okay? Also, Paul never took off and did movies. Yeah, he mentioned that because Billy asked about, did that hurt your feelings when Gene Simmons took off to do movies? Watch, Johnny B's going to say it. Paul never took off and did no goddamn movies or produced other bands like Gene. Oh yeah, I did do it. He stayed and poured his heart into Kiss and did the best he could by himself. Yeah, all those kind of out crazy nights, and I think that's, or no, it'd be even earlier than that. Would have been Animalize and maybe Tears Are Falling album. I have completely different view on him now. And you're right, Peter and Ace need to be interviewed next to complete the cycle. You know Ace will be a complete train wreck. Billy is a great interviewer. And the only real criticism I have is that he has a bad habit of cutting off who he is talking to. Yes, I do that too. I don't know what that is, but I do that. Thank God you guys can't talk to me because I cut you off at every turn. But it is slightly irritating because it always ends with a compliment to himself somehow. Oh yeah, I 80,000 people at that show. But hey, you know, if you got a fucking full display, if you're a peacock and you got one of them full displays, fucking give them a rattle. You know, give them the shimmy. Show them the vibrant colors in those. You know, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, it's okay to be the cock of the, or to be proud of yourself. It's okay to be proud of yourself. You know, especially if you've pulled yourself up. You know, if you've come from the fucking dirt. You know, and you're here now. Welcome. You have hit the jackpot. Because if there was any time ever in the universe that I would ever want to be born, it would be right now. Not being a baby right now. I love doing this podcast, but I'm saying this period of time. I have to tell you that the small meat bit. Johnny B here says, okay, thank you, Shane Areno, for the recommendation. There you go. I have to tell you that the small meat bit that is in This is Spinal Tap, okay, was indeed Nigel Tufnell explaining that he had to fold the bread, that's what it was, to make the meat fit. The cucumber at the airport was the bass player Derek Small's hilarious movie, and you're 100% correct that all the other movies they make are just as funny. Plus, they have the brilliant Parker Posey in them, who is the queen of the indies independent film. She's so good in Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show, especially Best of Show and A Mighty Wind. Just funny kind of mockumentary style movies by Christopher Guest with all those guys from Spinal Tap in them. Johnny B here says Robert Trujillo is a damn delight of a man and on the fast track to becoming a legend in his own right. I saw an interview where James and Lars were singing his praises and saying that when they asked him to audition, they thought he would just turn it down because he didn't need Metallica. The best part of the Some Kind of Monster doc was when they were planning. I love that bit. See, I'm reading your comment right here, but I'm cutting you off. So you know that if you were telling me the story right now, I go, I love that. Shh, Johnny B, shh, I love that. Some Kind of Monster doc was when they were playing with him during the audition and then the subsequent offer to join the band. In a different interview, Lars said that Robert and him were out all night drinking the night before and both were incredibly hungover. Well, I mean, that's kind of a good sign, right? Before you audition, if you're out all night drinking with the drummer for that band that really holds some reins, it's not a bad one. But let's face it, He was the best choice out of all of them. And he knew everything. I mean, what did he say in there? Like, well, what do you know? He's like, fucking battery? Oh, really? Lars is like, who? What? I thought you were going to say, load or something. Something from load. Do you know anything from load? The purple shirt Robert is wearing during the jam session is actually Lars's. Really? Then they really got to know each other that night. How do you say that? Lars's. Watch it again and watch the part where they finish playing Battery. And Lars looks up and asks, what other songs do you know? Lars looks rough. Yeah, he's saying, hey, let's try one off Load. Do you know Nothing Else Matters? Let's do that one. One of your best, this is still Johnny B here, one of your best podcasts, Shaneosaurus Rex, loved it. And so glad I took you up on the Paul Stanley interview recommendation. I'm a certified Paul Stanley fan again because of it. Fucking Paul, he's sitting over there going, I love that Johnny B. He's a good man, that Johnny B. Because he's saying it right here in Shane's podcast. It made him a fan again. And bravo on the bass playing. Pretty soon you'll be in a band and touring the nation again. I don't want to do any of that. Let's go, he says. Until next time, keep looking up, keep asking questions, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Here's some advice for you. You ain't got no enemies. You got nothing. It's out. Who, what, when, where, this day, this time, right now, right here. No past. I got no enemies. I got no time for enemies. P.S. We got a P.S. here. And belated Happy Father's Day to you and all the dads out there in Shanerino-ville. Yes, indeed. It was indeed Father's Day, and I do have a child. Do you know how that is, that I would have a child? When a man and a woman really like each other. No. It was very pleasant. It was chill. I just want to relax because, you see, I'm burned to a crisp 5 days a week, lifting heavy shit all damn day, and then riding a bicycle home in the heat. And then by the time I get there, I want peace. I want to sit and do this or nothing. Okay? Hashtag get Shane to 100K. I like that. I really like seeing that, you guys. That is very nice of you. Miss Althea coming in here. Now, I'm not going to say who was missing, but I am doing a very good job of making sure and double checking before I start the podcast. So I'll just, not to toot my own horn. Also, do you notice anything about me? Do you notice anything different about me? Or maybe cleaner? I took heart to the Born on the Matterhorn when he said I look grimy. So what I did was I washed this hat. So it's looking a little better. The sticker's starting to come off of it now. But would you like to know the inside story of this hat? A good friend of mine, whom I no longer see anymore, gave me this hat. This is not some kind of American... I mean, it is kind of the American flag, but it's Never Summer, the skate brand or whatever. But he gave me this hat, and it was brand new. And you've seen it in every single video I have ever done. Now, I'm going to tell you, one time I was riding my bicycle home, as I do, and I would take the hat off sometimes, and I would hang it on the handlebar. Well, it fell off. And it was rainy. And I went, oh my God, there goes my hat. My hat, what my friend gave me so lovingly, is gone. And it was ran over God knows how many times. But I'm riding the same fucking punch in, punch out, baby. Ding! Alarm clock goes off. get up, get to work. I'm heading down the road. There it is, mashed flat. I pick it up, take it home, wash it off, bang, it's back. So it's been in every single video, but what I thought would be great about it is to wear this damn hat until it literally disintegrates on my head. So that way, you can go back and see this thing and a big plump me in a crisp hat, and by the end of this son of a bitch, when I'm finally putting the plug in it and going, yeah, I'm done, this hat will literally just be... Isn't that fun? Or is that dumb? I'm sure someone will tell me it's dumb. Speaking of dumb, the dumbstruck fool says, Jeff Tate and David Coverdale. That sandwich tray scene in Spinal Tap is one of my favorites, and it remained often quoted in my house. I've never been a fan of Whitesnake or Coverdale, so envisioning him having a Nigel Tufnell grade hissy over a meat to bread or bread to meat ratio is just additional fodder for me. I keep folding it. By the way, I have never stepped on a nail, but I did step on a rake in the summer of 1971. Mm-hmm. I mean, my God, the spikes? When I was 5 years old, a rusty one, and I had to go, oh my God. Now that's a story. I had to go through a series of tetanus shots to circumvent infection. That was fun. Man, I think you just hit the bullseye with that one. I don't think anyone's story, if you're talking about a rake going through your foot, I mean, a nail pales in comparison. Miss Althea says, Sharon, no boy. No disrespect to Ozzy, the official undoing of Black Sabbath and other related etceteras. To the July 5th event, but geezy peasy, what more can be said about it at this point? Another slow news day, I guess. If a story has to be crafted out of who Miss Osbourne wishes was involved, I got more out of your personal musings about concert dynamics. Yeah. I am also one who has always enjoyed headliners, including the tuning of the instruments. Yeah, all of it. And $17 for a can of beer is a drop in the bucket. Little Miss Mixed Drinks, what? That would be you, has spent double that for bourbon and club soda in a damn 10-ounce plastic cup. What? I mean, I guess you don't need as many of those. Because I drink a lot. I used to drink a lot of beer. I'd drink a 12-pack and say, what are we going to do tonight, fellas? Miss Althea on James Hetfield. Well, the science teacher that has hopes, and the English teacher that has hopes and dreams. Love. You mean he wouldn't be a high school geometry teacher if Metallica did not exist? Damn. Bonus points for the mention of Neil Sedaka and the riffing on Laughter in the Rain. I still have the 45 RPM single somewhere, and I am pretty sure it still has one of those yellow plastic swirly tuning adapter thingies in it. Yeah, I remember that. He's on TikTok, so he's popping off all the time. He's getting ready for a show that he's doing, so he's always sitting at his piano doing all them songs. And someone indeed will be going, dude, he's talking about Neil Sedaka on his heavy metal podcast. And yeah, I'll talk about Neil Sedaka any goddamn time I want to. All right? Tell that to all your scousers that are hanging out around down in the alley. All right? You tell them. You tell them I'll do whatever the hell I want when I want to do it. Tell them. The bus guy and his backpack. Miss Althea's she's got thoughts on that. Anyways, guys, I'm going to tell you real quick here. Rough cut of it. I get to the bus stop. Very agitated fella. Seemed very nice guy, whatever, Says that's why I bring my backpack. He's got something in the backpack. Okay? That's Miss Althea's coming in now. The bus guy in his backpack, I personally don't think you read him wrong. I think the situation goes beyond having a bad day once in a while. Yeah, okay. And that he may have deeper issues. Respect your boundaries and protect yourself is all I have to say. I've kept it pretty, just, hey, how you doing? No. But, and he's a nice guy. Okay, but that day, that morning was kind of like, and come on, man. When I was a kid, I'd go to fucking parties, and I don't know if I could feel the room or what, but you'd just see people there where you'd go, I think we got to go, man. I'm leaving. I've just always been like that. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm getting out. One time for good reason. Shit, one of these days I'll have to tell you about the time we went to a house party and the entire party wanted to kill me and my band, and we were in the bathroom and I was bleeding from the head. I'll tell you about that sometime. Never seen so many people banging on a bathroom door in my life. And we were in there. Leave us alone! Then our guitar player murdered their mailbox when we were leaving. And we're not even bad people. I didn't start anything, okay? I was on the receiving end, and then it turned into something, okay? Thank you, Miss Althea. I am going to respect my boundaries. I've been doing that with everybody. If I don't like your vibration, I'm out. Don't come at me with any of that caveman bullshit. Don't come at me with this, them, that, they, there. No. I am you, you are me, we are. So don't come at me with your low vibrations. I don't do it no more. I have to work with it sometimes, but I do not let it. What's the phrase? Observe, do not absorb. Miss Althea on Paul Stanley. I was okay with his Kiss album rankings until he got to Sonic Boom. With the exception of Psycho Circus, anything released after my beloved Eric Carr died is of no interest to me. I enjoy your impromptu jam of Sure Know Something. She got it. And I thought always comes up. What? And I always comes up related recommended viewing. Oh, I'm reading the wrong damn line. And I thought Billy Corgan's podcast. You guys think I'm just some goddamn dummy? Billy Corgan's podcast was called The Magnificent Others, not The Magnificent Bastards. I have never invested in it, although, that makes more sense, honestly. Maybe I just had that. Maybe I knew it was others, but I just had Bastard on the brain. Isn't that a Quentin Tarantino movie or something? Magnificent Bastards? I have never invested in it, although it always comes up as a related recommended viewing. I've really been liking interviews with musicians and all of that. And it's a very nice setting. You saw that beautiful setting with Big Head and Little Head that I showed you the picture of. It's a beautiful setup. Another great one was Al Jorgensen from Ministry. That was a pretty good one too. Thank you for fixing that for me. I shall remember The Magnificent Others. I don't know if I will, but I'll try. Vamped. Miss Althea talking about the club Vamped in Las Vegas. Topic revisit. No, Johnny Depp was not and is not involved with that place, at least in terms of ownership. He was former co-owner of the Viper Room in Los Angeles. Keeping it bitchy. Peace out. Okay, so we know that. That's the place where it's been so long now. Joaquin's brother, Joaquin Phoenix, what's his name now? It's escaping me. You know, you have to get in the comments and tell me. He was a great little actor. He was that little kid that was in Stand By Me, wasn't he? The tough boy. Pack of cigarettes in his sleeve. Buzz cut. Rebel Metal 4233 coming in here. Bang. Let's see who this is. Rebel Metal. There you go, buddy. Look at you. He's got 23 comments, Rebel Metal has done. 3 hearts. You're getting another one today, bud. Unless, okay, let's just keep going. It will be okay if you never attempt a British accent again. But even if you do, you are still my favorite reactor. By far. Uh-oh. I don't know how to take this because he hit me with compliments too. It would be okay if you never attempted a British accent again. But if you do, you are still my favorite bleeding bloody reactor. I tell you true. By far. And then he's got Sinsidious Dogs of War by Theocracy. I'm not going to stop asking. Well, I'll tell you one thing, and we're going to go ahead and say this is okay. Please leave the requests out, but I will duly note this, Rebel Metal. But I'll tell you what I won't do. And it's happened twice, and it's happened with the Christian metal guys, okay? I'm just telling you this right now. If you put in a request for a Christian metal song and you give me 1 penny, you go to the PayPal and give 1 penny or $2, I ain't doing it. I'm going to keep your money. I'll keep your penny, but I ain't doing it, okay? Now, I'm not setting guidelines of how much you should pay me. I'm just saying, what do you think? And I'll tell you, it sure ain't $2, not for my time. I got that. Yes, someone gave me a penny. Hey, you should do this song. Then someone else hit me with $2 and said, hey, yeah, you should do this song. It's like, I'd rather do the damn songs for free from the comments than do a song that you've sent me $2 for. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed, sir. I'll get right on that. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you, sir. You know, I'm not saying over the moon, baby. I'm just saying it's a little cheap, you know. Maybe more than a combo meal at McDonald's. How about that? Can we set a guideline and say, you know, at least what you would pay for a combo meal? That's pretty good. Rebel Metal, I'm going to try and remember your Theocracy request. Of course, we just did Theocracy reaction video, and it was to Ghost Ship, but they were rocking out in a train yard for some weird reason. So there's that. You go. You keep on rocking. Sticky Doll. One question, ... What's in the fucking backpack? I'm assuming you're probably thinking about that fine movie 7 with Brad Pitt in it, where he says, what's in the box? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I think he had a gun in there. I think he had a gun in there. But I wasn't going to say, well, what kind is it? Is it a good brand? Is it something affordable that I might be able to own? You know, And I think, Sticky Doll, if we're being honest with each other, I think you know what was in it too. Because if you're walking around, if you ain't going to put your fucking gun in your waistband, it's where I'd wear mine. I wouldn't have a holster for it. Put it right there in the front. Make sure the safety's on. Put it right there in the front. So I like to have it right in the front where I can get in like that. Hey, what the fuck are you doing in my yard, huh? There you go. It's always good to see Sticky Doll. Go check them out. They got the Facebook and Instagram and all that. Shouldn't be too hard to find, right? Sticky Doll. It's right there for the taking. And good on you for coming up with something where you go, Sticky Doll? Well, that just sounds weird. Well, yeah. You got to have something that says, kapow. What did Billy Corgan say? That's why he called it Smashing Pumpkins. So because you'd remember it. You remember Sticky Doll. Mike Buchanan coming in here. He's finishing off the damn thing. We're finally going to make it through this. I don't know how I'm even doing it, but I am. Sometimes I amaze myself. And another problem I've got here is you notice the fan's not on. And I don't know if it was even on earlier, to be honest with you. But now I figured, well, maybe if it's off the table a little bit, so the fan underneath. So now I've got half of the mouse pad under it and a pair of extra glasses wedged up under it, so it's a little bit off. And hell, I don't even know. Maybe the fan died on it. I guess we'll find out if videos go up next week. Boy, I am being a real shit today, ain't I? I'm being really... I need to stop doing that. That's a power jug. 20 calories. That's why I can fit into my 36 waist Ben Hogan's. I didn't even tell you about that. When I got the size back, I felt really good with myself because I'd never been in a 36. 38s were tight as hell. I was a 40 waister. And, when I fit into those and they hugged my cheeks so sweetly and I was like, my God, the inner thigh, everything was just like, wow, this is heaven. And I snuck back over there and bought the last pair. I was kind of proud of myself. I was in a 36. Not bad. I gave myself a pat on the back. Mike Buchanan coming in. He says, on this week's movies, but are bad, but we love them anyways. Friday the 13th. Sean Cummings, directed by Sean Cummings. Ari Lehman, of course, playing the role of Voorhees, the child Voorhees. Friday the 13th, 1980. Oh, get that out of the way. As of writing this review, Friday the 13th was yesterday. And as I always do, I watched the first movie, second movie, and third movie. What's your favorites? I love Potato Sack Jason. The second one. That is creepy to me. He's creepy with the hair, too. It's creepier. I watched the first one. I watched the second one. I like to watch the third one, too. It's a trilogy I watch. And Friday the 13th has hit its 45th anniversary, an absolute classic of a movie that changed the slasher movies forever. Indeed. Camp Crystal Lake Counselor Review. A summer to try to forget. We came to Camp Crystal Lake expecting a fun summer, a canoe racing, marshmallow roasting. I'm playing the role of Kevin Bacon here. Marshmallow roasting and hormonal awkwardness under the stars. Instead, we got torrential rain, creepy townies, and a mystery slasher who clearly had some serious mommy issues. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the summer job of our dreams. It was more like the setup for a real messed up documentary. Oh wait, it was a movie. First off, the facilities. Rusting, sure. If by rusting you mean abandoned over a decade because of an unresolved child drowning and unsolved murder, management failed to mention the little detail in orientation. The cabins had charm, but also cobwebs, creaky floors, and apparently secret passages for maniacs with knives. Is that what they're going with? I mean, I guess he had that little thing out in the... Oh, wait, no. I'm not saying nothing. 0 stars for maintenance. I'm going to read that line again because I crapped on it. The cabins had charm, but also cobwebs, creaky floors, and apparent secret passages for maniacs with knives. 0 stars for maintenance. The staff dynamics were your typical teen drama, flirty, obvious, and entirely unprepared for the wave of doom heading our way. One of us was just trying to make coffee, another was just going for a late night skinny dip, and the next thing you know, someone's gone missing again and again. No cell service. There's no radios that work and no functioning sense of self-preservation. And the killer? Look, We'd love to say we're bravely fought back and saved the day. In reality, we screamed, ran, tripped a lot, and got picked off like flies. Turns out it wasn't some masked psycho. Not at first, anyway. It was you're going to give it. It was Miss Voorhees. I guess, spoiler alert, 45th anniversary, right? It was Miss Voorhees serving up the whole buffet of vengeance because her son drowned in the lake years ago. Honestly, that's on the camp director, not us. We barely got a CPR refresher. One of us, Alice, did make it to the end and decapitated the killer, which definitely deserves 5 stars for effort. But then Jason showed up in the lake and, well, we're not sure what's real anymore. All in all, would not recommend this job unless you're into trauma, ghost stories. Ghost stories come to life and chains of generational vengeance. Camp Crystal Lake is beautiful, sure. Just don't plan on leaving alive. Sincerely, what's left of the camp counselors. Grab that favorite beverage, bro. Sit in your favorite bean bag chair. Pop some popcorn and press play. Just don't ask people wearing hockey masks to play goalie for your team. I thought that was pretty good. Go ahead, let's cut that up. Let's wrap it. Let's get some sweet animation going on it and get it out there. Get it out to all the socials right now. Mike B's movies that we love. Get it animated. Get it online. Get it. He's got something to say here. Before getting into the meat and potatoes of the podcast, happy Father's Day, my friend. I wish you all happy Father's Days as well, twos. Hope you had some good quality time, and I did. And a very happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Dads and grads, right? Now I'm going to tell you something that might bring a tear to your eye, but you know, Father's Day was the annual camping trips with my friend who's now dead. But he's not dead. He just left his meat sack and he's sitting right here above me. He's right in the room. Indeed, Chris, we used to go on every year for like 6 years before he so rudely packed his family up and moved to Texas. Say that. Sorry. And now it's time for the podcast portion of Mike B's comments. Jeff Tate. Mini bread scene is one of the funniest scenes in This Is Spinal Tap. Well, and this is the man to do it, right? Bad movies. He's the guy that spit it out to us. Well, why would you keep folding it? Nigel hands down the best part of the movie. And we're going off the road and down the rabbit hole. Spinal Tap 2, what? Nigel hands down the best part of the movie. And we're going down the road, the rabbit hole of Spinal Tap 2. The end continues. Set to be released in September. I know I will have high expectations for the movie and probably will be disappointed, but I'm seeing it anyways. What do you think of, I heard rumor that Liam Neeson is going to be redoing the Naked Gun movies. What do you think about that? Tell me what you think. Mike Buchanan on Ozzy. Do you know who he is? He's going to be having a concert in England, his hometown, soon. Okay, Sharon, why not the entire AC/DC band? What would a Black Sabbath song sound like AC/DC'd? Something to think about. Why not the entire AC/DC band? Yeah, okay, so he's mentioning there in that it's only Angus that's coming to the show, which is, she likes little Angus. She says, I love me little Angus. I used to smack his little toot in it when I'd see him at his concerts. And I'd say, oh, there he is in his little schoolboy outfit. And I'd smack his little toot when he turned around. He'd have his guitar on, and he'd be doing that little dance he likes to do. And I'd go and smack his little toot. Mike Buchanan on James and Robert. Those are the guys from Metallica. The one guy was bizarrely wearing Lars's t-shirt the next day. After a long night of drinking. Shit gets crazy when you get drinking. You start to go, I love you, man. He says, you too. No, I really love you. Mike Buchanan says, well, I'd imagine there's some 7-Eleven out there that doesn't exist because Metallica exists. Anyways, off topic, yeah. Yeah, I know, go with it. I found a bootleg version of Metallica's And Justice for All album, and it's called And Justice for Jason. The album was remastered to bring up the bass on all of the songs. Jason sounds amazing. What did I miss in there? I'm going to say something that's very weird, but I've listened to that, and I like it without. I think the biggest thing is he's basically playing everything that the guitars are playing, if I remember right, and I kind of like it when the bass does something with the drums, but it's not right with the guitar, except for when it hits the punches, you know what I mean? But that's what I got to say about it. I would say that everyone has a bad day for sure. Jason sounds amazing. I would say that everyone has a bad day for sure. Okay, so he's talking about Backpack. Out for lunch for Father's Day, and the kitchen staff almost had a fist fight. Lunch delayed because now they don't have a cook, as he's walked off site. Wow. Did, however, get a 50% discount on our bill. I'm so sorry about that. Please tell me you didn't eat the eggs. Mike Buchanan on Paul Stanley. I 1,000% agree on his pick for best album being Kiss Alive. Hands down, one of the greatest live albums to ever have been recorded. Another of my top live album is Motorhead, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. Yes. There is a live version. I want to say that it's on there, but I cannot listen to Kill by Death any other way than the live version. Because it was the first thing that I heard, and I think it's the Hammersmith album. But Motorhead's done so many damn live albums, it's like, you don't know. I would now add Sonic Boom. I would not add Sonic Boom in the top 5. Probably wouldn't add anything after maybe Animalize. Their best work comes from the 70s, in my opinion. Base it up, my friend. I would agree with that. I went with them all through the... I mean, let's see. I got into them off the Kiss Alive 2 record, so I was instantly going backwards with those records. And then, conveniently, it's the craziest thing, the neighbor was like, my brother's gone religious or whatever. He's getting rid of all of his Knights and Saint and Service records. Do you want them? And I was like, fuck yes, I'll take them. So I got a stack of them right out of the gate. And this was pre-Lick It Up, because I bought Lick It Up on cassette. I love when Paul Stanley's talking in that interview too, because Billy Corgan brings up the reveal on MTV of their showing their faces, and I love that. Paul kind of goes, it was crazy because Vinnie Vincent wasn't even in the band a year with the Onk makeup, and here he is taking it off. You got Eric Carr. Of course, he'd been around a while, so people were like, yeah, I want to see Eric Carr. What does he look like? And you knew he was going to be handsome, right? Even when he made the makeup on there, you're like, that's a good-looking Italian fella right there underneath that, probably big hairy chest, maybe a bit on the back. Not that I'm... Miss Althea's interested in knowing these things, maybe. But it was kind of weird. You see Vinnie Vincent there, and then it's like, well, and here's the new video with the guy that we had in the band. Thank God. Aren't you so happy we're almost to the end of this? We're going to end on a high note, and that's with his jokes. And then we're going to call it a day on this fine, fine podcast. And now it's time for the Jive Talkin' Jokes of the Week. What happens if you eat yeast and shoe polish? You'll rise and shine, of course. What is the Australian Dynamite's favorite pie? Boomerang. A poem by me, ... Red roses are blue, violets are written. By Yoda, this poem is.
Red roses are, blue violets are. Written by Yoda, this poem is.
So, because Yoda never rhymed. Right? He was always saying shit weird. And Luke would go, what? I'm eating this bowl of fucking, what is it, beans and snakes? I don't know what the hell's in this, but what's going on? Speak clearly. Not in riddles or whatever. I need the information. My wife and I just took out insurance policies on each other in case something bad happens to me. You know why? What? My wife and I just took out insurance policies on each other in case something bad happens to me. You know why. She's going to kill you. So, oh, thank God we just got that freaking $1 million, that is just the kiss of death, isn't it? On every single one of them Datelines. She's sitting in the car, he's sitting in the car, I need you to kill my wife. $5,000. They're in a Kmart, Target parking lot. No, not Target. They're in a Walmart parking lot. 5 G's. She's dead. She's dead in the door now. How about that Ghost Adventures guy? Remember Zach Bagans? The one fell on there. Literally, his wife tried to kill him. She's gone through on trial right now, and he's on there crying, going, "My God, I just want to find ghosts. I want to bring home bread to the table. I want to support my family, but I want to do it finding ghosts. And while I'm out with my fine friend Zach Bagans and the other guy, Cody or whatever his name is, she's plotting to kill me." And I think it was for about 5 G's. And finally, what do you get when you set aluminum foil on fire? Burnt Reynolds. That is good. I'll see myself out now. Hashtag get Shane to 100K. You're beautiful, you're beautiful, it's true. God, what's that one song? If I hear it again, I'll just... My kingdom come. Oh my God. Is that Imagine Dragons? Oh my God. I get on YouTube and I'm flicking away, and every other YouTube short is, "This is my kingdom come." Doesn't matter what's going on in the video. The minute I hear it, I flick away. On a side note, I don't know if any of you have TikTok. If you don't have it, don't get it. But if you do have it, and Shane Diablo, that'd be my YouTube. One of my all-time favorite videos, it is 10 minutes long. It's got some peaceful music on it, but I take you on a beautiful ride through a mountainside. Beautiful trees and everything else. There's no talking, just music. And I'm in my work truck and I'm heading through this canyon, and you see the trees and the sky and the clouds and the beauty of it all. So if you're into that, peace, peace and quiet, I want a tune to get out. All of us. We haven't done this one in a while, have we? Hey baby, how you doing tonight? You listen to that podcast, it's alright, it feels so good inside. Got a little heavy metal news in your brains. With the news that you got from Shane's podcast in your brains. Are you sharing it with friends? Are you telling metal newsstand girl. While you're doing it, tell them the extension. What do they call that? A link at Shane Diablo on YouTube, baby girl. In case they wanna go and listen for themselves, they don't believe you. Don't believe you, girl. But that's alright, they go to Shane Diablo on YouTube and listen for themselves to get the